Today we have LeeAnna Bluewater. LeeAnna, hello. Thank you for joining us today. This is
Thanks for
awesome.
having me.
I know there's a lot of people that watch your videos. You have a lot of experience, and we are happy for you to share your wisdom with us.
Such
Your
as it is.
wisdom. Let's just get right into it. Your name and your closet name.
My name is LeeAnna, not Lee. Don't call me Lee.
Okay.
Um, Closet names, Posh Canada is Kimori Style 645. US is Kimori Style US. Little hint, anybody that has US at the end of their closet name, chances are they're Canadian.
Ah, so you have two closets. You have an
I
American
have two
closet
closets.
and a
I have
Canadian.
Canadian closet and American.
Well, yeah, first the Canadian, then the American,
Yes,
obviously.
because I am Canadian, just in case
Yes.
nobody knew that.
That's awesome. And that's a lot of work running two closets, would you say?
Um, yes and no. Sidekick does help with a lot of that extra work, which is great. But I'm going to say because my husband, I'm part of a reselling couple. My husband focuses on eBay mostly,
Okay.
and he does pretty much about the same amount of work as I do on both closets. So we're kind of equal there.
Right, right. Oh, that's great. I try to help Erica with her reselling too. That's how we started. When you're a team, it's a lot easier. So you guys are mainly selling on eBay and Poshmark. Any other platforms?
We do sell a little bit on Etsy. We did try Vinted here in Canada, but it has since closed down. Paul informed me today that we do sell a little bit on Depop, which I didn't know about,
Oh,
which is
nice.
whatever.
By the
Um,
way,
there's
yeah,
I don't think we've really sold much, but we do have an account and he does list there.
right.
But for the most part it is eBay and Poshmark Canada, Poshmark US for the most.
That's cool. And do you see Poshmark, your Canadian closet, doing a little better than your US closet, or is it about equal?
I am actually an anomaly because most Canadians say their US closet totally outperforms. And for me, I'm the opposite. My Posh Canada always outranks my Posh US. I think they came quite even once. And I've been on Posh US for 3 years and Posh Canada for 5. So
Wow.
Posh Canada is my number one platform
Wow. I
for
wonder
me.
why. I wonder why it's unique.
I don't know. There is no rhyme and reason
All right. You
for
just know Canadians better, maybe.
maybe I
Could
have
be.
access to the Canadian brands that people want
Right.
and Americans don't because
Right.
there is such a thing.
That is true. Every region has its thing. And the categories that you mainly sell in are,
Mainly on Poshmark, it is mainly women's clothing, accessories, bags, shoes, things like that. I do branch off into hard goods because I just like decor products and things like that. On eBay, my husband sells anything and everything from boat parts to condoms.
hey, listen, that's how you have to do it. You have to
Yeah,
please everybody. It doesn't
yeah.
matter. When it comes to buying things and selling things, there's no judgment.
But you know what? Sometimes niches can work, and I think that matters. It matters what you have access to.
Right.
So if you only have access to a couple of different categories and you can do really well with it, then yeah, absolutely go for it.
Hmm.
But that takes a specific type of seller and buyer as well. And if you don't have that sort of access, if you have access to everything, then
That's
yeah,
true.
might as well branch out and do whatever you can that makes the sales.
Now, would you say that seasonality can bring other categories for you to sell in? Like,
Well,
let's
I
say
know
it's winter. There might be new categories for you to open up and get into and sell in if you have access to it, of course.
Oh, I think you should absolutely keep your options open when it comes to seasonality. But always keep in mind that depending on what platform you're selling on, like on Posh Canada, usually bathing suits are not selling in the winter, usually. However, people do go on vacation.
That's true.
But on eBay, which is a worldwide market, lots of people are going to be in the hotter regions that will buy those things. So
That's right.
I list whatever whenever. Like they say, Christmas sells all year round. I
Yes.
think the closer to a season, the better money you may make.
Hmm.
So, like your Christmas items might not be selling for as much money in January as they would in November. So,
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
that's true. Like Erica actually said once, she said that there's a store called the Christmas Tree Store. they're still in business and they are still thriving all year round. Like it's Christmas 24/7. So you're right
Well, I think
about Christmas.
there's a town in Michigan called Frankenmuth
Oh,
that is all Christmas stuff, as far as I know. We haven't visited. I'm not a big Christmas person, but apparently their whole tourism is about Christmas.
oh man,
So
Christmas is such a moneymaker, no
it
matter where
is.
you go.
That and Halloween.
Yeah, yeah. Halloween's another one. Halloween's a all year round thing too for some people. So I also see that you've been getting into live selling as well.
So we did do Whatnot for a little bit, didn't like it. And as a Canadian, it was more so for the shipping. With Poshmark Lives, I was one of the first Canadian closets that did one. And I just don't like it. It's
Right.
just not, I don't like watching them. That I find waiting around just a waste of my time.
Yeah,
I'd
it's too
rather go
much.
searching.
Right.
Um, some people are really, really good at it and it's working for them and I applaud them. That's great. And I will never say never. You know,
Right.
I've got in the back of my head that I might do some sort of semi-silent share show so
Right.
that the listings are there and people can come in and maybe that will help bump up, sales and that. But I did a silent show a week and a half ago.
Mhm.
I did it manually. I do usually do them through Sidekick because it's fantastic.
Right.
But I sold like 10 items in a silent show, and that's unheard of for me. So that
Wow.
was really good. That was a nice wake up call. So I do the silence, but the actual live selling just isn't my cup of tea.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I like live auctions. Like used to go to estate auctions as date nights, and we used to love it. But for some
It's
reason,
different. Yeah.
Poshmark, it's just, I don't know, it's awkward for me. I find this is going to sound horrible, but to me, they're more like monkeys doing tricks or something.
Right. Right.
And I don't mean that terribly in some ways. It just makes me awkward, me feel
Well,
awkward.
look, it that's how you feel about it. That's what some other
But other
people might
people are
see it differently.
fantastic.
Yeah, some
Other
people do
people do.
well.
Yeah, and that's good. If it works for you, do it.
Right.
Absolutely. 100%.
But there's always two sides. There's the buyers who enjoy watching that, and then there's the sellers who enjoy performing for people. It
Yeah.
is a performance in a way. You are right.
It
It is.
really is. It's entertainment in a way.
It
And
is.
you know what? I like it's weird because I do YouTube and I have no problems being in front of the camera. I've done live YouTubes. They're a little awkward too, but I do them. So it's not about being in front of the camera. It has something to do with selling in front. And I'm not a salesperson. You know what I mean? My listings speak for themselves. That's the way I like it. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you. And that's fantastic.
That's like trying to fit a square block in a round hole. You were meant for just static listings, maybe not live selling. Maybe a little touch of silent auctions and maybe using your voice and bring your listings to life a little bit, tell a little bit of a story, but maybe that's as far as it goes for you anyway. Other
For me.
people, different story.
I mean, I
Um,
don't think it's absolutely 1000% necessary you do live selling to be successful.
right.
I don't.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
there's lots of different business models that work. You have to find the one that works for you.
And if someone is telling you that, they're completely wrong. Okay. It doesn't
That's a
work for
red
everyone
flag.
else.
I don't follow people. I don't watch people that say this is the only way because there's so many different business models and there's so many different reasons to be doing this business. Not everybody wants a warehouse and 17 employees.
No.
Not everybody just wants to make a couple extra dollars every month. So there's
Mhm.
lots of different ways to do it.
What does your typical day look like when you're like, let's say you just woke up today and you have to work on your closet and stuff. What does that entail for you?
Okay, so my days, I'm going to start by saying I usually work reselling Monday to Friday. I do very little on the weekends, a little bit of listing, some prep. That's about it because I like to have the free time. Typical day, you get up, I check emails, check sales, check comments, questions, make sure they're dealt with. I usually take 1 day or 2 days a week, do my photographs. And the rest of the week I use to do my listings, do my drafts. Thursdays for sure, I'm the one that goes to our cross-border shipper because
Okay.
we don't ship directly from where we are with Posh US and with our eBay orders. And that's an hour away. So that takes me a couple hours to get back and forth. I combine that with going to the bins because it's around the corner, which is a bonus for us because it keeps costs down. But I typically will work on my closets, work on my listing, my relisting, photos, tweakings, whatever, in the mornings. I tend to do everything in the morning. And then by noon, when I have my lunch, I sort of have free time. I might go sourcing, that kind of thing. I might read a book. So I
Right.
try to get everything done pretty much in the morning, but I get up really early most days. Not today. Today I slept in, but today I went to the gym, which was great. That happens 3 times a week. And at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I'm already at work doing things. So
Right.
I'm up fairly early. So noon gives me about a 7-hour work day,
That's
give or
great.
take.
And me, I'm up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I loved getting an early start. It's such a great idea. You get so much more out of the day when you're up early. A lot of
Oh,
people just like to sleep in, but you're wasting those hours, man. You don't need that much sleep.
need
Some people
sleep.
do, but go to bed earlier.
I go to bed really early. You
Yeah.
know, 8 o'clock, I'm in bed reading my book because I get up early. It's just the way my body is, and that's the way I do it. And it works for me. I
Hey,
tried to push to stay up later because that's when the platforms are busier,
right.
and I just couldn't do it.
Oh,
I
that's
just
what you
didn't.
have automation for. Could run some
Yeah.
silent shows late at night. You don't even have to be awake.
My only issue is that the silent shows become really popular and people start asking questions, and I'm
Right.
not there to
Right.
answer. So it was like, but yes, that's when I run those silent shows.
How often are you sourcing your items? You source every week or just once a month?
Depending on my death pile, because we go with sales and things like that, chances are we're sourcing 1 to 2 times a week.
Right.
I'll go to the bins on Thursday because I'm right there and it makes up for my drive. Also, I take advantage of Value Village Senior Day because, believe it
Ooh.
or not, I am a senior and I get 30% off.
Do
So
it. Yes.
I do that. If a 50% off sale, we sort of gauge our week according to what's going on in the thrift stores around us, whether or not online auctions are happening, because I source a lot from them. And I'm going to say on average once to twice a week, basically.
And you pick up like a whole lot of stuff, or you know,
And again, depending on the sale, depending
right.
on how much I already
Depends.
have. Like right now, I'm running a little low. So on Thursday, when I go to the bins, I might pick up 30 items if I can.
Okay.
If not, I'll stop at a Goodwill on the way because I have a favorite one that I go to, pick up a few more. And
And
that's what I
items you're really excited about, you list them right away, or you just,
sometimes I find something and I'm like, oh my God, I have to get this listed. I'm so excited.
yes.
There's other ones that I'm like, why did I pick that up? I'll just leave it there. I'll do whatever. And it sits. And I realize I should have listed it months ago and it sells
Right.
really fast when I do. So
Yeah.
just list everything when you get it.
Is there a certain brand that you're always looking for when you're out? Like when you see this brand, you're like, oh, that's it. It's going in the cart.
Or usually my brand would be Torrid, depending
Right.
on the cost,
Okay.
because Torrid sells really fast for me on a regular basis for enough profit. But it does depend on the cost. I'm not paying $10 for a Torrid t-shirt,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that usually goes into the cart. I forgot the word there for a second. But other than that, I don't know. I don't look I look at brands. I like brands, but for me, Torrid and vintage things are my best sellers.
Yeah. And
So
there's a big
vintage, the
demand.
brand isn't all that important necessarily. It's more the fabric and the material and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to look for those classic, sustainable items that are, and that are going to be around even after you pick it up for resale. You know that that's going to last. And those are the
Yeah.
things that are doing well. And vintage items are becoming more and more of a thing. More and more things are becoming vintage now. That brings me to the next question. Before you go out, do you do any sort of product research? What tools do you use for product research if you do?
Normally, before I go out, no, I don't do any research. I sort of keep in mind what has been selling for me and go by that, knowing, okay, I want to find more of this brand or more of this item because I know it's going to sell well. When I'm out and about, I kind of rely on my experience first. When I'm looking at clothing, it could be fabric and contents and looking for those things that are just a little bit different. And those are the ones that I will look up. I will do a comp search, whether it's on eBay or Poshmark, and I also will look at the sell-through rate because that's really
Yes.
important because brands and sales change over time. And something could be saturated and no longer selling, even though it sold for me last month. So
No.
I rely on my experience and I rely on the platforms themselves for what is selling and what is selling for good money.
Now, for those people who aren't familiar with sell-through rate or how to look it up, when you're researching sell-through rate, and this is for people also who are having issues selling their items. When you're looking up sell-through rate, are you using like eBay Terapeak or any other tools for that?
Not necessarily when I'm out and about. I will use Terapeak once in a while, because I do list on eBay some of the clothing. Some of it I do not, 'cause it's not worth it. But I will look on Terapeak on my computer, not
Right.
on my phone.
Get a rough
Um,
idea, yeah.
yeah, but when I'm out and about, I will just basically do a very quick, okay, it's this brand, it's this type of item. How many are listed? How many have sold recently? And making sure that the numbers compute that it's worthwhile picking up.
Right. Yeah, and mostly after a while, it becomes experience.
Yeah.
Then you just know certain things are going to sell in your closet. It takes time. But for those people who are just starting out, they're definitely going to need to do some product research, have some trial and errors until they actually figure out what their
They're,
audience
they're
likes.
gonna have
'Cause
to spend more time doing that at the beginning.
yeah.
And that's true for anything you do. Whether you're learning to skate or swim or whatever, you're gonna have to do the work beforehand before you can actually jump in the lake.
Now, some people are saying that I don't care about following people. I don't care about followers. It doesn't matter. But in reality, on Poshmark anyway, who are you going to share it to? You have to share it to your followers. So everybody's audience, would you say, is a little different on Poshmark?
That's a good question.
Mhm.
I think on Poshmark, believe it or not, I know you say that followers don't matter, and I understand that sort of sentiment because I don't make a habit of following specific people. I just follow whoever follows me back, type of thing. And on Posh Canada, I have like 475,000 followers,
Right,
which could be the difference because on Posh US it's only at 77,000.
right.
So that could be the difference
Well,
there.
yeah, could
Um,
be.
but yeah, you're right. Who are you sharing to? But are your sales coming from sharing
Right,
or are they coming from search?
right.
Because you don't have to
Exactly.
be following someone to buy from them. So I don't know. I still
Exactly.
follow and people follow me and it's fine.
Some people niche follow, other people they target follow, other people who have bought certain brands or into certain brands. And that could be good too. But I feel like no matter who you're following or what your followers are, you'll find out what they like in the end anyway. You'll know what to buy when you're out. And that brings me to my next question. All these things that you have to do every single day, the people that you have to deal with, buyers, cases. What is your biggest reselling pet peeve? What bugs you the most about reselling? And you can be honest.
I think there's two things. Number one are sellers who will not answer questions, who will
Mhm.
not respond to cases, who will not respond to even offers, regardless of what they are. Those that bothers me because I think buyers want to be heard, and I think it's really important to connect in some ways. So when they flat out say, no, I'm not answering questions, I think you're doing your business a disservice. I
Hmm.
think for sure you're not going to get that sale. 99% sure you're not going to get that sale. But if you answer the question honestly, you're either going to prevent a return because you're answering honestly, or you're going to make someone happy and they're going to buy from you.
Yeah.
My other pet peeve are the influencers,
Hmm.
those people that all they talk about is all their sales and this is what I made and this is how many packages with no,
No
they don't,
substance. Yeah.
no substance. And it's like, what? I can be proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished. And I agree that you can brag a bit about that. I think that's fantastic. But when it's consistently, that's all you're talking about, I think they give the wrong idea. They make it sound like this business is so easy. Anybody can do
Right.
it.
Right.
And yeah, anyone can do it, but you have to put the work in. So it's
Yeah.
a little bit of a pet peeve for me because they don't talk about the work so much.
Yeah. You have to have the yang with the yin. There's two sides to every coin. You can't just show the good parts. You have to show the struggles. Otherwise, it kind of invalidates the good parts, don't you think?
Yes. I mean, I still make mistakes. I've been doing this for over 5 years. I still make a bad buy here or there. I might miss a flaw here and there, not often. I will say that.
You're human.
I'm
You're a
human.
human being.
But you know what? I do share that on my YouTube channel. I tell people, you know what? I messed up. I did something totally dumb or I was really petty. And you know what? Because I think it's more real.
It
And
is
I'm very happy to be real with people.
because you are real, because you are such an amazing person and a reseller. So and you know, everybody feels your energy. I know a lot of people who watch your channel. So
Oh, nice.
it is great to have you on here. But I'll tell you my reselling pet peeve. Actually, it's people who don't even resell, who are who are in the community, like you said, influencers who hardly resell, and they're in the community just spreading misinformation and negativity. That's what I hate. It's not an exclusive community. You can be in the community and chat with people. Be positive. I think that the more positivity we put out there, the more we're going to get back, and the better our sales will be in the end anyway.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
the better the community is, the better the reputation of the platforms are.
Yeah,
And people
absolutely.
will want to use the platforms.
It'll draw more people in the end, really.
Yes.
Um, here's a good question. If you were not a reseller, what would you be doing?
Oh, I kind of took this in two ways. Number one, if I didn't know reselling existed, if I just continued on in the vein that I was in, honestly, I'd be in some sort of dead end job that I'd be working my butt off, that I'd be getting great reviews and 10-cent raises every year.
Right.
100%, that's probably where I would be.
Yeah.
Not happy, but that's okay. But if, for instance, eBay and Poshmark all shut down and I couldn't resell anymore, I think some sort of secondhand consignment store
Yeah.
or a bookstore, or you know what, a librarian, because I absolutely love books and that would make me really happy.
I see that.
Knowing
You have a
what I
lot of
know now
books.
about running my own business, I
Yeah.
would definitely want to be running my own business.
Absolutely. Some people are just made for it. And we are glad that you are a reseller. You know, if you weren't doing what you love to do, what would you be doing? That's kind of frightening in a way, because
It's
I've never really
interesting
thought about that.
because we sort of started, my husband and I started just little bits here and there on eBay. We were doing auctions and whatever, and I got restructured from a very stressful, very toxic job a month before Poshmark Canada came to Canada.
All right.
So I've been full-time since then because I had the opportunity. So I was very lucky that I got to do this. But my husband was working full-time outside of the house still. He did that for a couple of years. COVID happened and he got laid off, had the summer off, did this full-time, fell in love with it. So the next year we sold our house, moved 3 hours away so we could have a more affordable lifestyle, so he could do this job full time as well because he loves it.
Happy for you guys. We got to see more of him on camera too. Maybe he's just too
I've heard
shy.
that he went to the bins. He goes on Mondays. He went to the bins, and one of my viewers recognized him.
What? Oh, see?
Yeah, she was like, "Hi, Paul. How are you?" And he was like, he was flabbergasted. It was
Oh
amazing.
man, that's a good feeling. Do you get a
Yeah,
lot of that when you're out as well?
I've had a few. I've had a few, and in fact, somebody that, like, a friend of mine now who lives in the same town found me on YouTube, and now we have coffee regularly. So it's really nice.
Cool. That's awesome. We do have one more question, and then I'll let you go after that. But so what do you recommend to people who are just starting out, beginning, going through the frustrations of reselling? What is your advice to them?
I think my advice is take it slow, learn the platform you want to sell on, go through the terms of service, join some Facebook groups, which there are some really good ones out there, ask questions. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. You're gonna make a mistake. You might have the wrong item, you might price it wrong, whatever. It's gonna happen. It's okay. But if you go slow enough, pace it so that you get your routines in, you get your processes intact, your foundation for your business is going to be that much stronger in years to come, and you won't be playing catch up. So
That's
just
right.
take your time, take a deep breath, jump in, and learn as you go. As long as you're learning, then you're going to be fine.
I mean, don't be scared to make a mistake. You know, you learn from the mistakes,
Some people don't.
right?
Like,
Right?
other people are just so afraid to spend that $5 on that pair of jeans because they don't know if it's right or if it's wrong. Well, if it's wrong, then you have a pair of $5 jeans. A tip for that is buy things that fit you, that you like. That way
That's
you can
true.
just increase your own wardrobe.
Yeah, well, you can write it off at the end of the year anyway.
Yeah.
You get it
So
back eventually. You do get it back once
you
things
do.
start start moving along. But don't be afraid to make mistakes in
Don't
the
be
end.
afraid to make mistakes.
Well, anyway, LeeAnna, thank you so much for this. This was awesome. We should do it again in the future when
That'd be
some time
great.
goes
Thank you for the
by.
opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be posting this on our YouTube. And for you guys who don't know, we will be putting her closet name and every point of contact that you can get in touch with her in the description below. So thank you guys for joining us. And until the next video, happy reselling. Bye, guys.
Bye.